example is our data is between 1 to 10. So you group the data. For example, 1 to 10 is represent the marks. So we calculate the data. For example, 1, we have 1, 2, and 3, and we have 3 in here. So calculate for all the data in here 1 until 10. So you got 30 values. And then this is the example of when we calculate the relative frequency. We have the data and also the frequency. Then we calculate the relative frequency. For example, in here 3 divide by 30. So you get 0.1. So calculate for all the data. So cumulative frequency, that means you times one data, you times. So example 1, this one 1. 1 plus 1 in here, you got 0.2. 0.2 plus 0.067, we got 0.267 and all. So the total number, make sure is hundreds. So the total for relative frequency, make sure you got the total is 1 equal to 1. And then we calculate this is into the percentage. So the percentage is the 3 divided by 13 times hundreds. So you get the percentage. So the similar for the rest of the data. So the total must be at the end of the data, the sum of the data must be hundreds. Okay, this is the frequency table, relative frequency, cumulative frequency, and also the percentage. Okay, and then dot plot. Okay, dot plot is one another method to visualize the data. So when we use it, when we have a small numerical data set, okay, how to draw it? Draw the horizontal line and mark it the appropriate measurement scale, and locate each value in the data set along the measurement scale and represent it by the dot. If there are 2 or more observations in the same value, stop in the dots appropriately. So you draw this one. So the data you represent by the dot. What to looking for? A representative or typical value in a data set. The extent to which the data values spread out, you want to see the pattern for the data, where is the most popular, minimum, maximum, also you can see spread out of data, and the nature of distribution, the value along the number line, and the presence of unusual value in the data. So you can see any and usually value ataupun unnormalized pattern from the data. So this is example, one of the graphical method by using dot plots. Okay, example, times minutes to eat breakfast. So how long does it take you to eat breakfast? So this is the result. So how many people? Just only 1 minute, 0 minutes you can finish, 1 minute until 12. So which means 6 people take 0 minutes to eat breakfast. They probably had no breakfast at all. And 2 persons, they say, spend 1 time having breakfast and etc. So when you summarize the data in here, you can get, for example, 0, get 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 1, 2. So this is the graph, dot plots. And another method using the histogram. This is the common use to get a graph to show the frequency distribution. The histogram content for the set of rectangle that represent the frequency in each category. It represents graphically by frequency of the observation value. So observation value is the data you collect from the sample. See what we're looking for the histogram, the center or typical value, the extent or spread of variety, general shape. You can see the pattern, location and number of peak, which one is morphic data, which is the highest value, represent the gap and also the outliner. Okay, how to construct? Collect data and construct a tally sheet. The number of cells should be between 5 to 20. You can use 5 to 10 cell when the number observation less than hundreds. Use 8 to 7 between the number hundreds to 50 and more than 15 to 20 if the number more than 500. So how to determine the range? This is formula. Determine the range by xh is the highest number, xi is the lowest number. So you need to minus the highest number and also the lowest number. Okay? And then we also need to calculate the cell interval. So how the size for the range. The distance between the adjust cell midpoint and odd interval is recommended so that the midpoint value will be the same number of decimal place as the data value. So this is the rules. I equal to R1 plus 3.32 log and N is the number of observation. Okay. Or you use this one, try and error formula. H is number of cell, R is R range. So I is divided from this formula. Okay. So determine the mid cell midpoint. The lowest cell midpoint must be located to include the lowest value in the cell. It is simplest technique to select the lowest data point has the middle value in the first cell. For the formula, this is formula to calculate the mid cell midpoint. MP x1 x is the lowest value. I is in the formula previously and divide by 2. Okay, boundaries. Okay, determine the cell boundary. Cell boundary is extent or limit value for the cell. So this is the upper boundary and lower boundary. All the observations that fall between upper and lower boundaries are classified into the particular cell. The boundaries value are extra decimal place or significant figure inaccurate than the observation value. And then post the cell frequency and construct the histogram. So this is the histogram. This is the lower boundaries. This is the upper boundaries. So this is cell. So you need to calculate the mid cell. And the size between two mid cell we call as interval. And then this is the mid points. Okay. This is the example for the data we collect in here. Maybe this is the weight in kg, so you need to find which is the highest value and also which one is the lowest. Okay, so we calculate all the data. So how many the frequency for each data. So I think you are familiar to calculate this one. 1 2 2. This one, for example, 8 1 1 2 5. This is 5 5 plus 2 is 8. I think this one already covered in school. I see this label in school also, but also in I think cover last semester in digital logic. How to use this tally. So you need to calculate the range. The range is the highest and also the lowest low values, which is highest is 2.575 minus 2.531. You get 0.044. And then you need to calculate the interval. So using this I, R1 plus 3.20 times dengan log N. So 0.005, the range in here, divide this formula. Okay, and then log N is data, total number of data is 110. So you get 0.0057. So and then calculate the try and error based on the guideline. 005 will be giving the best represent of the data. So this one is the I, 0005, 005, 007. So you get the value for H. 15, 9 and 6. Okay, and then calculate the mid value. The simple technique to select the lowest data point 2.531. Okay, as the mid value for the first cell. So the better technique use this formula. So 2.531. Okay, this one the lowest. Divide by I is 0.05. You choose I 0.05 divide by 2. So you got the mid value 2.533. So this is the mid value. So you plot in the graph the mid value in here. Okay, so this is the lowest bond. This is the upper bond. So this is the mid value. Okay. So boundary value are the exact decimal place or the significant figure in the accurate random observation values. This is the example. Okay, we draw all in the lines. Okay, histogram. And then this is the boundary, cell boundaries, mid value. Okay, the data, and we calculate the frequency for each boundary. So for each range in here, you calculate the frequency. Okay, and then you plot the graph in here. Plot the graph based on the frequency given. Okay.